Hello and welcome back, Odoers. Today we are here to discuss another essential concept in accounting, which is the journals. You can think of journals as a way to sort out your transactions. In Odoo, based on the transaction type, we identify five different journals, which are sales for your customer invoices, purchases for your vendor bills, bank and cash for the payments, and finally, miscellaneous operations. In the end, all journal entries are gathered in one single general ledger where you can find all the journal entries. Of course, in Odoo, you will have existing journal already in your accounting, and based on the applications that you're going to get more or less journals. If you need to create others, you can also create them manually. So here we are in the database where we're going to configure our journal. So let's dive in directly in the accounting application. So here, we are in the accounting dashboard and each box you see is a journal in your accounting. Here you have to be careful because you have favorite filter. If you take it out, you're going to see all the journals that exist in your accounting applications. If you want to configure the journal deeper, you can go directly in the three dots menu here and access the configuration. But if you want to see all the journals, you can go through the configuration menu up here and click journals directly. Here, the first journal is a purchase journal for our vendor bills. You can see that there are a few configurations that you need to do before going live in accounting. First is setting up a default expense account. Decide if you want a dedicated credit note sequence and, of course, a short code. Basically, all the journal entries that will be created from this journal will have the same sequence starting with bill. Let's go in another journal here, the one from miscellaneous operations. You can see the type here is miscellaneous and it also has a dedicated shortcode. Next, in the bank journals, you see that there are a bit more configurations to consider. We will learn more about that in another video, but the important thing is that you also need a default bank account here. Then, customer invoices. Here we have the same configuration as the purchase journal. Again, a default account, a shortcode, and a dedicated sequence. But what you need to understand for both sales and purchases journals is that if you want to make sure that when you post an entry, you can't modify it later on so you can't reset or draft. What you need to do is activate a simple feature in the advanced settings, which is called the lock posted entries with hash. By ticking this, you are preventing the user from going back to draft in posted entries. Once it's posted, you can change it afterwards. Last journal here is the cash journal. So same as the bank journals, also a bit more accounts to configure. Now let's say I want to create a dedicated journal for my salary entries. Remember that journals are here to sort out our transactions, so I'm just going to create a new salaries journal. Then for the type, miscellaneous entries, and I'm just going to add a short code, let's say SAL for example. And that's just as fast as it is and super convenient. If you want to change the order in which the journals are presented in the dashboard, the simple thing to do is just basically drag and drop in the list view the order in which the journals are presented. So if I go back in the dashboard directly, you see that my customer invoice is back in the first place of the dashboard. It's really simple actually. So since it's so easy to create new journals, can we do different journals for sales according to the region of sales? Indeed, we can create as many journals as we want in Odoo, but regarding sales and purchase journals, I would not recommend having more but instead try to keep as few journals as possible because when you create an invoice from the sales applications, Odoo automatically chooses the first sales journals that it finds. So if you have different journals based on the region of sale, in that case, Odoo is not going to be able to assign the right journal right away. You can have another solution to sort out your invoices by region of sale. For example, you could use the sales teams, So if you assign a different sales team on the sales order, it will be also visible on the invoice and you can use this to filter your invoices. That way, you can keep one sales journal at the same time having the filter as you wish. So that's it for today's video. I hope you learned something.